everybody outside of the YouTube world? It is I, your conquistador Javier, and with me on the Literary League of Heroes, I got Mr. D-Hide. What's going on? Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, y'all.
We are the
How's it going, Javi?
How's it going, man? Happy to have you here on this continuing episode of OPRAH Boys Book Club. OPRAH Boys.
Yeah, glad to be here on this. It's a special spooky episode tonight. OPRAH Boys? That's right.
Thank you.
I forgot.
We got the immortal Biggie Shack hopping in the chat. What's going on, brother?
Yo.
OPRAH Boys Comic Book Club. Thank you for joining. We are talking about the Punisher series, the 2000 Punisher series. Welcome Back, Frank, by Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon, and Jimmy Palmiotti. And we will be doing a deep dive review on issue number 7. So it's New Comic Book Day, brothers. It's Halloween edition. That is right.
That's right. Oh, and if we didn't mention, we're the tie-dye banditos, I believe, right? Something like that.
What was that? I'm sorry?
We're the tie-dyed banditos.
The tie-dye banditos. I like it. Yes. That is
good.
I mean, yes. I wish I was a little bit more pirate, but I guess I could be like Nick Fury.
Yeah. That's cool. Nick Fury likes to get down at the guy.
I like the bandana t-shirt combo.
Yeah, blends into each other. Yeah, I could tie dye in tapestries at a hippie festival. It's
good. Tie dye banditos, the tie dye bandits coming at you.
Yeah.
This is our book club, our comic book club, which we call OPRAH Boys Book Club.
OPRAH Boys?
OPRAH Boys, and we are reviewing a old series from 2000s. Actually came out in 2000 and continued on to 2001. It was a 12-issue maxi series, The Punisher. Welcome Back, Frank. And we are talking about issue number 7. We also have Varangian Vigilante hanging out. What's up, VV? All the way from, as they call it, across the pond, and I believe Austria. So thank you so much for hanging out, brother.
Yeah.
If it bleeds, we can kill it. Also fits the Punisher. And yes, I am really happy that the Punisher is part of the Savage Avengers crew. And nice, he just covered all the Punisher Kill Crew issues. I believe Tony Moore or Terry Moore. I get them confused. I think it's Tony Moore. It might be Terry Moore. It was the same guy who did the first couple issues of The Walking Dead.
Oh, nice.
He did the covers for Punisher Kill Crew as well. So,
oh, cool. Yeah, that's something I didn't pick up. There's just so much Punisher stuff coming out at once, I know who I am and everything, but you can't pick them all up.
That is right, man. But
that's awesome. I hope it's good.
Punisher, Welcome Back, Frank series. And just to talk a little bit about OPRAH Boys Book Club, this is what we do on the Conquistador stream. We have our own little comic book club, and we read these series and we talk about them. This was the first series that we picked, the Welcome Back, Frank series by Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon, and we are doing a deep dive review. Of course, as book clubs are known to do, they read the books and then they talk about them. So if you've read it, happy to have you here. If you haven't read this, go pick this up. 12 issues. Great read. Let's dive into it. This is the first page. I guess we can talk about what happened a little bit.
Getting hot. Kept it up for a while.
Yeah, what happened?
It was getting hot.
OPRAH is involved. Yeah, she is our patron, if you will. She supports us. She's
our spiritual
supporter. Yeah, a spiritual advisor, a big support. Shout out to all of that.
Shout out to the Big O.
The Big O, I like it. Last issue number 6, the Punisher was taking out Manucci's goons. Manucci is the villain. She's the mother of this crime family. She's the head honcho of this crime family. And Punisher has just taken
terrible bitch.
Yeah, Punisher has just taken out a whole bunch of her goons, but in the process, he himself had been shot with a full clip to the chest. He was wearing Kevlar, but he was shot probably from point blank, a couple feet away. And Punisher was able to get up to the guy after being shot, snap his neck. Both of them dropped, and that's how the issue ended. So this is how the issue starts off over here. Punisher lying on the floor. He's actually from the first panel, you can tell that he's coming out from unconsciousness.
Yeah, it picks up exactly where it leaves off.
Super intense, when this was coming out, this was coming out monthly, and you didn't know what the heck was going to happen. So, we get confirmation that he's still alive. Heck yeah, so happy. But he's hurt, and he's running through all the he's running through all the things he needs to do. He's just been shot. He's just been shot a whole bunch of times. He knows the cops are about to get there, so if he might as well just get up and go with it. He works it very well, but after all, how hard can it be? And that's like a repetitive phrase that he continues to say throughout this issue.
Yeah, all I have to do is stand up, walk a block and a half with 6 bullets in my chest, hope I don't pass out, and I'm home. After all, how hard can that be?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This is Frank being a resilient monster man and just getting from point A to point B. It's insane. It's really good. It's perfect. It's perfect way to put Frank in a good predicament in the opening of the thing.
I love this. Yes. Biggie Shaq. Hey, you got to give it to him, man. Throughout this whole issue, it's just him kind of coming to realization of what just happened and just going through the motions of what he needs to do. And this series is actually inspired this series actually inspired that Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie.
No,
not that one. Not that one, the other one.
No, that's it from the 80s, the Thomas Jane one.
The Thomas Jane one, yeah.
Which John Travolta as Jigsaw, but they didn't turn him to Jigsaw till the end of the movie because they were definitely planning on making a sequel. That did not happen.
So Punisher does get up. He continues to go through the motions in his head. He's batting 1,000 here. All I have to do is walk to my apartment, find the key, fit it in the lock, and close the door behind me without any of my freak show neighbors noticing me. So it's like these simple things that he needs to do, but he needs to remind himself, just to keep going, just to keep pushing on. And of course, we get that phrase, how hard can it be?
Hard. Yeah. And of course, it's like the things that in your head you never even think about. Well, I just got to open the door and take the keys out, put the right key in. Like, he's in such a way that he has to break down everything down to remedial level and focus on it. It's pretty hilarious.
Right. Look at this middle panel right here where his vision is just going out of sync, out of whack. Definitely has a ton of blood loss. And he knows he has to do everything himself because he can't go to a hospital. So he goes to his apartment and he gets there.
Yeah.
Still trying to go through the motions, and he reminds himself, okay, now that I'm here, I need to take the bullets out, sew up the wounds, and heal. After all, and then we get those lagging speech bubbles.
How hard can it be? As he just clunks.
Yeah, he just clunks, stumbles over all his furniture, passes out,
and
hey, but at least he made it to his apartment.
That's he really had to do that more than anything to be safe.
Right.
But but even then, like, they know where he lives, so it's not too easy.
But
Poor fella.
Again,
Frank's getting it.
Yeah, again, the repetition of that how hard can it be? And I was flipping through the book because I do have I pulled up the scans, of course, but I do have like a physical copy.
Right.
I was flipping through the book and going through the scans, and there's a lot of meat and potato, like I guess you can call it like a little bit of snacks in between these pages.
Yeah.
But the Punisher,
the
Punisher pages were just so good, and those are the ones that just they stood out. Besides what's kind of going on in the rest of the story, it's all still building up, and we will touch on that. But these Punisher points where it's like 1 or 2 pagers, and then you're just like, what? The transitions in this issue are very, very well.
Exactly. And like most of the other parts of the issue, like the things it is just pretty much furthering the plot. Manucci talking to her goon saying, "What? Did you kill the Punisher? Nah, everybody's dead and he got away. Well, go get him. Get more people, do whatever you got to do. What? There are no more people. It's just us. Well, then you two go do it." And so these 2 mobsters have to go find the Punisher now. And it's just them. There's nobody else because they didn't want to get in the fray. They're not soldiers like the other people were.
It's confirmed in this issue that the Punisher has taken out 80 of Manucci's soldiers, her goons. He's taken out 80 of her soldiers in 2 weeks, or in less than 2 weeks. And actually, her hospital bed and all her hospital equipment is actually in her mansion, which we also get a confirmation in this issue. She's not in a hospital. She's hired doctors to come to her to take care of her, and all that equipment is in her home. I assume a huge mansion. But that's really cool. And she only has enough men to patrol the house.
Yeah.
So
he's whittling down that entire crime family. It's god,
dude.
Punisher's the best.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he took care of all of it.
And we do also get some more. This is still more of the rising action. So we're still getting some more development of Soap, Detective Soap, and Lieutenant Molly. And they actually have the captain calls them, the captain of their police force calls them, and they actually have to go investigate these other murders that are going on. And one of them is the murders that Father Redondo, unknowing to them, has been committing. So they go to Father Redondo's church and they start questioning him and talking to him about the murders that have been going on, and how the connection between all the people who have been murdered have been attendants of his church. And he's like, oh, like that's surprising, but he does admit that they do, these criminals have come to his church and they have done confessions there. And he even like slips out. He's like, yes, 5 of them. And they're like, 5? There's only been 4.
Yeah. All right. And then he just goes, oops, whoops. All right, well, we got to go. And he divulges that there's been 5 because there's currently a dude with an axe in his chest in the confessional booth at this moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Father Redondo's a real piece of shit too, and he's just murdering,
Yeah, he's still doing his thing. I'm sure we'll get more development of him in the next issues, which we do. But it's just funny to see how things are all coming full circle.
Yeah.
And Garth Ennis is doing it very, very well because he's taking the same people who are on the Punisher case and he's putting them now on the Father Redondo case, which it's just tying everything together, which is it's very interesting to see and very, very well done. Back to the Punisher, and it's funny that we mentioned the movie. I think we almost always mention the movie when we talk about this series because, of course, it did inspire it. But the neighbors are also, I guess, coming full circle. But you get a lot more of the neighbors in this issue. It's not just hellos. Oh, hey, I'm dropping off some cookies and pie. I was very. I wasn't expecting this at all when I first read this.
Oh yeah, it makes sense, but
boys, yeah, it does make sense, in a literary standpoint. But this is Joanne. She's one of the neighbors. She's the one who brought the Punisher, or Mr. Smith, as they call him, some cookies. Whenever she bakes some extra pies. But she follows a trail of blood, which the Punisher has left as he was trying to get to his apartment. Goes into his home, goes into his apartment, finds the armory, which is like, dude, he's got a stash.
And it's stripped down for him, but it's still a terrifying stash.
Right. So Joanne finds out. The neighbors finds out, and she has
that next page after she finds the guns is one of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah, I didn't pull it up. But if you want to show it up on your book,
there we go, right here.
Oh,
it's all good. Wow,
that page, man.
Yeah, it just Punisher coming up on her, and she's like, "Mr. Smith," and it's the most terrifying Frank that it could be, covered in blood with a pissed off face. So good.
Right. You don't know what he's going to do because she has just entered his apartment, and Frank don't like that. He's on the run, especially from all these criminals. So Joanne actually calls in Spacker Dave. And Spacker Dave has this real cool moment where he kind of knows what to do.
Yeah, exactly. He kind of knows what to do.
He's like, but he's Spacker Dave, right? So he's still all jittery and be himself. And he's like, "Yo, we got to take care of him. We can't tell nobody if the cops come. We can't say anything. We don't know anything about nothing." And which is really cool. How Spacker Dave has like a little bit of a shine. He moves the Punisher to his bed, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sure glad I took that first class of first aid."
Yeah.
And when
sorry.
No, I'm just saying the Punisher is just in and out of unconsciousness, and
yeah, that's my favorite bit right here. Is you take it easy, Mr. Smith. It's okay. We know who you are, or your secret's safe. We ain't gonna call the cops. Me and Joan are gonna look after you. And then the what? Thought bubble in his eyes opening in the biggest fear that he's like, you never see the Punisher with fear in his eyes. But the fact that Joan and Spacker Dave are going to treat his wounds scare the shit out of him.
treat his wounds and take care of him and
Care
make
of
sure
him.
everything's
Yeah,
gonna go
protect him.
okay.
Yeah, and protect him. Like that's no good.
It's too
Oh,
good, man.
good,
But hey, man,
good.
shout out to
So
the
awesome.
neighbors. Shout
Oh yeah,
out to the neighbors, Spacker, Dave, Joanne. It's
yeah,
really funny
yeah,
seeing them, show up and
yeah.
I guess get a little bit of more development.
Oh yeah, definitely. But give them something to do in the main story. Get them involved besides just being Punisher's wacky neighbors.
Right, yeah. And we get a lot of this is the rising action. It's not really because we're already in the 7th issue, so there's still a lot that he's building up, but he's definitely on this rise to like the high point, the climax, if you will.
Yeah.
So we do get more of a taste of some of these other vigilantes that have been, taking people out in New York City. We get more of
Just him being the elite being a real monster, real unlikable piece of shit, cleaning up the city because there's a hot dog vendor in his nice neighborhood. He doesn't want to put up with that, so he just blows it to shit.
Right, he doesn't want to put up with frisbees and basketballs, malt liquor, things like that. And
Yeah,
as D-High said, being a real prick, blowing up this hot dog stand for no reason. Come on.
Yeah, like he gives it. Yeah, he get like his little speech is it's such a good little prick monologue. We don't want people selling hot dogs here. We don't want the kind of people who like hot dogs here. We don't want people with frisbees and basketballs and malt liquor and narcotics because we find it paid a lot of money to live here, and we don't want riffraff lowering the tone. Go.
Holy jeez. Oh!
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's just no.
I would get out of there. He's got a grenade.
Oh, of course. Yeah, he just dropped a grenade. Like, yeah, no, he's a right prick, and it's perfect development because you can't wait to see what ends up happening with or to him.
Mm-hmm. And that was the elite, one of the vigilantes. So there's Father Redondo, the elite, who is the guy who dresses up in all white, has this kind of like weird Phantom of the Opera mask. And we also have Mr. Payback, who is my favorite. He is cool, man. I dig him. No, but he's one of the 3 vigilantes, and
he kind of vigilantes. Yeah.
He goes after the rich guys, the 1%, the people who run the stock market, people who run corporations. And there is this news interview that was going on, and the Payback, as the businessman was doing his spiel, the Payback kind of just creeps up on him and shoots him in the head. And we have the news anchor just still in shock, like, oh, he's really dead,
Yeah,
and
can't believe. Yeah,
the Payback's whole thing is, he executes scum who drink blood of millions, who produce from third world farms.
Yeah.
Where pesticides have debilitated hundreds and warped their unborn children in the womb, who sell guns to tyrants the world over, running American businesses like a giant death machine. Just over the top politics.
Yeah.
But
and that's a hilarious thing down here. Anyway, that's the police. I have to go, and he just dips because like him coming into the thing is so funny. I'll show it off on my page on my screen real quick. See, because like the fat cat's being interviewed, and then Mr. Payback just walks up from the back, and then right up and just shoots him in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And again, Steve Dillon's faces of people getting shot in the head is one of the best. Like nobody does it better the pure blank expression of shock and nothingness. Nobody does it better.
That is right. Oprah Guns, The Punisher doing what he does best, and Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon doing what they do best, making great comics. If you guys haven't picked this series up, go pick it up. The Punisher. Welcome back, Frank. Oprah Boys Book Club, the Conquistador Comic Book Club. Thank you for hanging out. We have a couple more pages to go and a couple more things to talk about, and then we'll kind of wrap things up. But yeah, love the payback. He's so kooky. Anyways, that's the police. I gotta go.
Yeah, like because he just scrolled up into like bop, and then runs off. Like it's so.
And the way he demanded an interview is like, I want an interview now.
Man.
As Derek,
I'd like to be interviewed now, please.
Yeah, as Mr. Dehide mentioned earlier, Manucci sent out 2 of her goons to go scope out the Punisher.
High level goons too, like the higher level, like mob lieutenants kind of people who aren't usually out in the fray, but she has no other choice.
What's going on, Goat 99? Happy Halloween!
Ooh.
Hey.
Yeah.
And yeah, here we are, another kind of funny moment. His brains coming out of his mouth, totally in the Halloween spirit. And this is the dialogue of the two high level goons that we just talked about. So they're actually kind of like in a bar, getting some food, and $5. She's gonna puke. On air, these people are professionals, and spoiler alert, she pukes.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, the condemned man's last meal, and he just hands over the $5 to the guy because he's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, right. Manucci sent them out on what they believe is an impossible task. I said earlier in this issue, which is issue number 7 of Welcome Back, Frank, the Punisher series. In this issue, the Punisher is going after Manucci, and Manucci is in her hospital bed in her mansion, and she has confirmed that the Punisher has taken out 80 of her goons in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So Manucci is down to her last couple of men. So she has sent these 2 gentlemen out, Mr. Red and Mr. Blue, by the color of their ties, to go find out more information on the Punisher. And they already know where Frank Castle's apartment is, so they go there.
Apartment building, anyway. Yeah,
apartment building is. So they go there, they follow the trail of blood. And before we get there, I wanted to mention that Manucci is what her plan. She plans to call all of the other crime families and try and get reinforcements from them. And there's a character who they mention who is the Russian.
Yeah. That's going to come into play big times.
The Russian apparently is a contender to go up against the Punisher. And there's rumors that the Russian has gone up against the Hulk and made the Hulk cry. Which, of course, are rumors, but it's funny how in the crime circle, those are the rumors that go around. And the Russian, who will be a character, villain for the Punisher in the next 5 issues. This is a 12-issue max series. Mm-hmm. So the 2 guys go to Frank Castle's apartment. They knock on Joanne's door. Joanne is chill. She keeps quiet, which I was super surprised about. Like,
Yeah. Oh, she keeps it so good and cool.
yeah, she's
Ma'am, you live here alone? Yes. We're looking for somebody, the Punisher. Do you know anybody? Like, he killed 800 people, big skull on his chest. You know anybody like that? No, I don't really know anybody else here. Keep to myself. And then they just leave her alone. What a weird little chick. All right, let's try this one. Then they go to poor Spacker Dave.
Poor Spacker Dave's apartment, and he can see them through the keyhole, the peephole.
Yeah.
And oh man, he has a Spacker Dave moment, man. He freaks out.
Yeah, he's a spaz. Like, yeah.
He's a spaz, man. He has a spaz moment. He spazzes out. He's like, he pretty much.
You're not the cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not saying anything. I'm not betraying the Punisher to punks like you, so you get lost. You hear? Unimpressed. They're like, all right, we could take this guy. Unimpressed and ready to just take him to town.
Right, and that actually happens in the movie. They call him Spacker Dave in the movie.
I believe so, yeah.
And he gets captured, and there's some, I guess you can call it, gruesome scene.
Oh yeah. He gets
with his piercings. Yeah. And it says to be continued there. Of course, this was coming out monthly, so in the next issue, we get more of that development, more of that heist where the Punisher now has to go after Spacker Dave, the person who actually I wouldn't say saved him, but took care of him for a little bit.
Well, they got him out of harm's way. They got him out of harm's way.
Yeah.
Not so much poor Dave, but Punisher got out of the killing site for now.
Yeah. And I love how their faces, man. He's just like, really?
Yeah, unimpressed, not scared, not intimidated. Just all right, let's get him. Ooh, that's a nice one.
Super awesome cover for issue number 8, which we will be reviewing next week on the Conquistador channel.
Yeah.
This is the Conquistador Comic Book Club, OPRAH Boys Book Club.
OPRAH Boys.
So next Thursday, around 7 or 8 o'clock, we will be doing a deep dive review of the 2000 to 2001 Marvel Knights Punisher series, also known as Welcome Back, Frank. Written by Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon on the arts, Jimmy Palmiotti on the inks, and Tim Bradstreet killing it on these covers.
Yeah, man. It's like, yeah. I know it was Steve Dillon is probably the ultimate person who ever drawn the Punisher and who will ever draw the Punisher. But Tim Bradstreet's covers come pretty close as iconic Perfect Punisher.
Yeah.
Like, they are also in the same level as, oh yeah, that's him. He knows how to draw the Punisher. And it's so weird in life like that, it's kind of disturbing. I don't know. I love it.
So overall, issue number 7, after the action that just happened in issue 6, it's still more rising action. We're still getting a lot of development between some of the characters. It's awesome how every character that has been introduced prior to this was included in this issue, which that to me made
with the exception of Mr. Bumpo. Mr. Bumpo right nowhere to be found.
No, but he's in the hospital. Remember, he's in the hospital.
Oh yeah,
his coronary.
Yeah, that's right. They even mentioned it. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and I love how in this issue, Detective Soap and Lieutenant Molly are still continuing their movie game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they don't stop the movie game that they started an issue or 2 ago. They haven't stopped it, and they keep it up because that's their recurring game. And actually, it comes up at one point in the church. It cuts to the panel of them walking in the church, and Soap saying the name of saying the Spanish prisoner. And Molly going, no, not now. This is not the time for the stupid movie game.
It's awesome. You say the name of a movie, and then the other person has to say the name of another movie, but it has to start with the last letter of what the other person means. So it's
like
really
Jaws,
cool.
Star Wars,
Star Wars, so on and so forth. Yeah.
7, and Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, so
you can't play with yourself.
I know.
I guess you could.
I just did. I did it well, fast.
But yeah, man, thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for hanging out. What's going on? Life with two YouTubers.
Hey, sorry you just missed us. We're about heading out. Good to see you though.
Goat 99 on duty, but still, answering the door for these kids. Not ready for his Jedi flexing. That's awesome, brother. Happy Halloween to everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for hanging out. It was a very short. We still did a deep dive review, but try to keep it concise. OPRAH Boys Book Club, or the Conquistador Comic Book Club. I'm trying this thing out. Let me know if you guys want to read this series. I am trying to get my hands on some trades. So if you guys haven't read this and want to pick this up, I'm trying to make the Conquistador Comic Book Club a little bit more inclusive, and try and send some care packages out. But we'll try and work something out. Hit us up on the DM, on Instagram, that could be a good idea. On YouTube. Next Thursday, we will be doing issue number 8. Thank you, everybody in the Conquistador comic book chat. Thank you, D-Hide. Happy Halloween.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me. Happy Halloween, my friend.
And no, Manucci has not died yet.